Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Juniper Veil. Today, I'll be doing a reading on the rest of the year for the United States to celebrate July 4th. I have the Celestial Tarot deck, which I'll be using, and also probably the Endless Tarot as well. I'm not sure how I'm going to do both yet, but usually some questions kind of come up while I'm reading. And then I'm like, hey, let's pull out this deck. So the first deck, this is a new deck, Celestial Tarot deck. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pull 3 rows of 6 cards. Each row is going to represent 2 months. So first row will be July, August. Second will be September, October. And third will be November, December. And what we want to see is what's going to be happening in the United States for the rest of the year. Hopefully no whammies. Everything will be okay. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Just remember that this is for entertainment purposes only. I am reading tarot cards, and it is entertaining. All right, so again, the first row will be July, August. Second row will be September, October. Third row will be November, December. What is happening in the United States for the rest of the year? All right, I have the Ace of Wands, the Queen of Pentacles, the Four of Cups, the High Priestess, the Hanged Man, and the Temperance. So that is July, August. Then I have King of Wands, Death, Page of Cups, Seven of Wands, Two of Wands, and the Eight of Pentacles. That is September, October. So I'm going to have to stack these a little bit. And then I get the Ace of Cups, the Six of Wands, the Empress, the Seven of Cups, the Hierophant, and the Knight of Pentacles. So that is November, December. All right. All right. August or July, August. We have the Ace of Wands. So that is clarity and purpose. Has also to do with enthusiasm, energy, drive, willpower, talents, and imagination. It's the start of a new cycle for us in July. So that sounds good. I mean, it kind of coincides with July 4th, 250-year anniversary of the founding of the United States. Not everybody's feeling particularly excited about it, which is completely understandable. The Queen of Pentacles. So the Queen is wise. She's not intimidated. Could be a strong female figure coming to light. Pentacles are about business, money, health, protection, material resources. It is an earth card. The Four of Cups is fours are like a foundation card, like a planning card. I like to think of the fours, that number. Cups are about intuition, emotions. The Four of Cups is usually seen as somebody who is being offered something like another cup, but they're not accepting it or they're not looking at it. So sometimes it's like you're not accepting some type of help, or you're just not paying attention to that. This Four of Cups is interesting with this deck because it's like a young child offering up a cup. I'm going to check the book for this this tarot deck just to be sure. So the Four Cups is like stagnation, apathy, boredom. Um, it's like a monotony of life. So like when they're being offered another cup, they're kind of like, nah, not really paying attention, kind of thing. The High Priestess is about learning. She studies, right? She studies. She wants to gain knowledge. She's the second, well, technically the third card, but she's a number two. Has to do with intuition and subconscious knowledge. And then also looking at the mysteries within. The Hanged Man is one of my favorite cards. This one is interesting because he's hanging from what looks like a galaxy, right? Just looking at it a little bit closer. Yeah. So the Hangman, that usually comes after justice. And it's kind of like, say, you go to court and you get sentenced for something. The hangman is kind of doing his sentence. But that also gives him time to really think things through, think about how things have gone in life. Take that time to stay in one place, be quiet, um, and gain a new perspective. So at this point, there's a surrender, right? There's a pause because you don't really have a choice. The temperance is interesting because that talks more about moderation, patience. So temperance is also that time where you can see when things have gone well and when things have not gone well. And you're being a bit more moderate, you're looking things through. You can achieve peace through balance and moderation. So let me look up the Queen of Pentacles again. Sensible, mentorship, practical, generosity, nurturing, right? Because queens are very nurturing. So the Queen of Pentacles would be more generous than, say, the King of Pentacles. So let's see. What are we seeing here for the United States? We're seeing like a new enthusiasm breaking through in July and August, which is good. It's interesting because we have this generosity and then we also kind of have that stagnation. So it's like, I think people feel more of a need to help others. But there's still this like stagnation of summer. There's still this waiting around. We have the Hanged Man. Temperance isn't really going anywhere. The High Priestess isn't in a hurry either. She's looking more inwardly and thinking things through. I think that could be the people of the United States just looking at what is going on, looking more inwardly, really thinking things through. If people have felt that they've done wrong, I think this is the time where some people may be feeling that they have to do their time, or they realize that they've done something wrong. And then it's like that fight to find that balance again for the United States. So it could be, I feel like this stagnation is like the economy. People are having to be more generous to each other to help people out. The Ace of Wands, I think, is a good sign that's showing that people aren't giving up. But I think a lot of people, whether it's just, standard United States citizens or possibly people in the government as well, they're kind of rethinking what they've done. They're trying to look inwardly, maybe also reach out to other news sources to gain more knowledge, right? I think people will be opening up their minds a bit more, and there are people who feel like they understand the weight of their decisions, whereas a lot of people don't really want to see that. I think there's a bit more self-reflection going on in July and August, maybe more towards, this could be more August, this could be more July. And there's a desire to find that balance again. with intuition, with care, with, how have things gone so wrong, and now how do we make it right? So I think that is coming through for July and August. Now let's look at September and October. So September has the King of Wands, right? That's another leader who could be male leader, could be female. It doesn't necessarily have to be a male. Um, Kings are action oriented type of leader when it comes to the wands, right? Because the wands are about creativity and drive and enthusiasm. So there's a better vision coming through, and this vision is coming from leadership, which is good. I think because there's also a passion, like a passion to become or better ourselves in a way. There's a passion of put making, I guess, giving ourselves putting ourselves on an even keel again. Um, I think that's coming through in this September, October area, which is good for the midterms probably coming up. The death card is interesting because the death card is about change. So something coming, something changing could also literally mean death, but it doesn't always. Death has a lot to do with transformations, endings. So there talks about basically new beginnings, so a new cycle coming up. The Page of Cups. Pages are a little naive, but they're very hopeful cards. They are the youngest of the court cards. They are kind of still like learning things, right? They want to be a knight one day, but they're just a page right now. So that it has more of an idea, especially with the cups, as creativity, playfulness, inspiration. So I think that is also good because it talks about an openness and also an emotional like discovery. So it's like usually with the Page of Cups has a little fish in his cup, and it's like, is the fish really there? Is he not there? I don't know. I mean, it's a very creative card. You can see the little fish right here. So yeah, so that's good. I think I'm coming up with a narrative here for these guys. The Seven of Wands is an interesting card. It's harder for me to remember the meanings when the pictures are so different. But the Seven of Wands is about defending your position and challenges. So there's a strong determination and courage associated with this card. It's very good. You're standing in your beliefs and you are ignoring pressure to go against your beliefs. So I think that is a very good card in essence for coming up to the midterms, right? These people are watching him. He has these wands, and all these wands are sparkling. So they're kind of, he has the light, right? They're looking at him. He has the light. That could be being strong in your beliefs could be a good thing or a bad thing depending upon what your beliefs are and who agrees with your beliefs or not, right? The Two of Wands is another person who is finding that balance when it comes to their enthusiasm and their creativity. They know that they want to start, right? We have the Ace of Wands. They want to start a new beginning. They're now at the Two of Wands. They're going into more detail about how they're going to make that happen. They're planning, they're exploring, and they're also expanding their horizons. And then we have the Eight of Pentacles. The Eight of Pentacles is like working hard, right? You've been working hard and you've basically created these pentacles. So this could be financial. It could be more like a business thing, but it could also be protection. could be physical capabilities or material resources. So let's see. This is September, October. I feel like I see a strong leader, whether it's male or female, kind of coming in and really becoming a strong voice. But for the midterms are in November. And this kind of spurs on a change and a transformation. I don't know if possibly somebody in the government high up passes away. Um, and then we have this page of cups after that change, so that it almost seems like this change, whatever this happens, this unleashes people to feel more creative. They have a lot more drive. They're more secure in their beliefs, and they are very, they want to create something new. So I think this, the King of Wands kind of triggers that change. And then the people, like the people of the United States, people in government, they are, they are the new, maybe the younger generation in government, because it's the Page of Cups. They're ready now to be creative, to start something new. They are really looking forward to it. They are very strong in their beliefs, right? And they're making plans. And it may be because they're making plans because they feel very strongly that they're going to win the midterms. The Eight of Pentacles, I think, is showing strong funding. I think this may show strong funding to those um, new political groups. This could be the Democratic Socialists coming in, and they have a strong funding source. Or what they should do is their message is about money, right? You earn your money, you should be able to use it wisely. um you know right now, technically, everybody is having their money stolen by tariffs, by high gas prices, by things like that. I think that the socialist Democrats will come in, and their big message will be about money, and I think that would be very good. So I wonder if the King of Wands is like Mandami or something. Let's see. So for November, December, November is when we have the midterms. We have the Ace of Cups, so that's another beginning. That's another clarity. The Ace of Cups, the cups are that social relationships, emotions, could be a new beginning for socially for the United States. And then we got more wands, right? We have this Six of Wands, which is success, victory, and public recognition. So this is success that's earned through effort, and it carries the energy of victory and confidence. That could be the midterms. I think it's the social democrats, or Democrats in general, having that success at the midterms, and then the Empress. And what's very interesting about this is that the Empress is a very nurturing person, right? This card is very nurturing. She's usually depicted as like pregnant, with the way that has the halo behind her. I think it's almost like a Virgin Mary symbol. And I think this is the people of the United States feeling more nurtured by the government, by the politicians. They feel like things are going well, as opposed to the opposite, where the government takes, right? Then we have the Seven of Cups. Trying to remember what the Seven of Cups looks like in the typical Rider-Waite. I don't really remember. But the Seven of Cups is about possibilities, dreams, and decisions. So this is imagination, choices, possibility. Oh yes, I remember. The Seven of Cups is the illusions, delusions card. So this is a card saying, okay, there are so many possibilities now, but you have to find clarity. So I think the United States is gonna. I think there's going to be still a lot of misinformation going on. But I think people are going to be a tad bit more hopeful. But I think we have to be careful of the Seven of Cups and the Hierophant. The Hierophant to me is, the institutions. It could be the government. It could be that the government is then trying their best to disillusion because the Democrats win. So the government is going to go all out to try to disillusion the people of the United States, confuse them, make them make bad choices, trick them, anything to remain as the Hierophant, right? Lastly, we have the Knight of Pentacles. So knights are messengers. They know what they want and they know how to get it. When it comes to the pentacle, it's steady progress, it's responsibility, and it's consistent effort. So it's reliable and it's patient. So I think that the government is going to try their best to fool citizens, to make them feel that what just happened in the midterms actually isn't good for them, or it's not as good as they think it is. I think that the government is going to try to deceive, but I don't think people are really going to fall for it. Things are going to go slowly, but things are going to get better. So we can't expect things to just turn better quickly. I think it's going to take some time, but I think now the pentacle is in the hand of somebody else as opposed to the Republicans in a way. And it's going to be, it's maybe a little slow moving, but I think it's a better outcome for the United States. So that's what I'm seeing for the rest of the year. It's difficult because you try your best when you read these cards to just think of things in a very neutral standpoint. But when I saw the Page of Cups, that said to me young. And it's so right now, the young people within the government are the Democratic Socialists and other Democrats, not so much the Republicans. So that's why to me, it felt like that when it comes to the midterms, it's really going the way of the Democrats in that sense. Let's see, what else should we ask? Okay, so let me look at the Endless Tarot. I like to read these as panoramas. So each card kind of affects the other. It does a little landscape for you, which is really nice. So how are the midterms? As of right now, today is July 3rd. It's so we're a few months away from the midterms, right? So as of right now, how are the midterms going to go? Are they going to be safe? Is there going to try to be are people going to try to stop things from happening that should happen? Like closing down of polling places, having ICE set up to dissuade people. Like how are the midterms going to go? So I'm thinking of, say, the week of the midterms. What's the energy around the midterms, the week of the midterms? All right, I'm going to do probably 6 cards. We have the Moon. We have the 7 of Swords. We have the 4 of Swords. We have Temperance, the 8 of Pentacles, and the Ace of Wands. So this is very interesting to me. When we have the Moon card, the Moon is associated with intuition, but also secrets, right? I feel that there's going to be an attempt at, what's the word I'm looking for? Not necessarily, remember, this is for entertainment purposes only. It's like an attempt at foolery, at hiding something, maybe hiding votes, or I feel like the information about, say, for example, where you vote, what you need to vote, things like that is going to be cloudy. Like it's not going to be as clear as it was in previous years to try to get people to not know what to do and then never get the chance to vote, right? And then we have this Seven of Swords. So the Seven of Swords is kind of like a thief, right? So I think there's going to be, and with this card here, you see these two, they're pretty much fighting, right? He's getting ready to fight. I think there's going to be someone's trying to steal votes, perhaps, which could also go with the moon, but people aren't going to just let it happen because there's an actual fight going on here in this picture. So I think that's very important. The Four of Swords is almost like it's a card of rest. It's a, you know, the swords are difficult times. This knight is on his knees. He's resting in front of the statue that holds a sword. So I think that there is going to be some fighting kind of going on. I don't know if it's a physical thing or if it's more like a court thing. There could be a lot of court and, you know, things going on legally that people are trying to stop others from voting, or they're trying to get access to votes, voting rolls, things like that. But it's like I'm not sure who that knight is yet. Then we have that Temperance. So that Temperance card is that calming down, right? That finding the balance, looking at how things had gone, trying to see what it is that you need to change. There's adjustment, there's moderation, there's experimentation. So I think that there's going to be certain things done to try to keep people from voting, but there's going to be a lot of moderation. People are not going to keep that down. They're going to come up with ways to fix things. So, say for example, there's a bomb threat for entertainment purposes only at a polling station. The poll workers, the election board is ready. They have somewhere else where you can go, and they know how to contact you to get you there. Like there's moderation going on, which is good. The Eight of Pentacles, again, is that hard work card. I think there's going to be a lot of hard work done by the election board to make things happen. They may be spending a lot of, I mean, both sides may be spending a lot of money when it comes to Republicans and Democrats in order to buy votes or get people to vote a certain way. But in the end, you have that Ace of Wands, which is that clarity and that enthusiasm. There's a strength and a drive to keep things together. Like that's what I see from these three cards together. There's like these three cards together say to me secrets, trying to steal something. But then this Four of Knight, this Knight kind of looks like this Four of Swords. This Knight looks like he's given up. And I don't see the person giving up as being, say, the election board, the poll workers. I see it as being whoever was trying to have shenanigans. Because this is swords, this is swords. There's shenanigans going on, but I don't think they're going to make it. But I don't think that right now things are going to go smoothly. That Ace of Wands could also come from the idea of this being so obvious. People are angry and people are enthused even more to kind of change things and make things go the way it should go, right? The lawful way, to follow the Constitution, follow states' rights, whatever it is. So I think right now, as of right now, July 3rd, 2026, there's plannings for shenanigans, but there's going to be a fight that's put up about that. I don't know if those shenanigans will work necessarily, but I don't think they do. I think there's some good moderation going on. People are prepared. And this just like creates a whole new enthusiasm of the United States citizens to bring back justice to the country and to how things are done. So it's not going to be easy. I think there's going to be a fight. But I think the ending is probably good. Or at least it opens our eyes even more. Like the things that are trying to be hidden just come out, right? Hidden, but there's a big old fight and you can't miss that fight. And then it's no longer hidden. It's out in the open. Yeah. Yeah, that's what I get from these cards. So it's gonna be a fight. I mean, we just have to keep fighting, you know? You gotta keep fighting for what you believe in. That was that the Seven of Wands? Yep. All right. I think that's all I have for right now. Please like, subscribe, share. If you have anything you would like for me to read on, please leave a comment, leave a post in my community page. I really appreciate it. And yeah. So have a great day, everybody.